Well, we looked at a few different, uh, certainly genuine letters of Paul in the New Testament, and in each of these, Corinthians 1, that is First Corinthians, and in Romans and First Thessalonians, we see that Paul does affirm the resurrection of Jesus. Now, granted, he doesn't come right out and say that he, that is Paul, was geographically present, physically present at the tomb with his eyes looking directly upon Jesus, the body of Jesus, as it was becoming reanimated. But the fact remains that he very clearly, unambiguously implies that the burial place of Jesus is, uh, by the time that he was writing these letters, is empty because Jesus did rise from the dead. So it's really undeniable that Paul did believe in the physical bodily resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead and in the empty tomb. Now, uh, this is something that, as I say, is undeniable if you just examine the writings of Paul. Uh, Now, if you haven't taken the time to do that, um, and you've read a book by Bart Ehrman or some other person um, that is skeptical of the Bible, you may not. It may seem convincing to you that Paul didn't believe those things, but if you are Bart Ehrman yourself or some other professional Bible scholar teaching in a university, you really ought to know better. Um, Paul, as we've seen in the three letters that we looked at, in each of those, he says very clearly that he does believe that Jesus came back again from the dead, that he rose to life, that the resurrection was not a spiritual resurrection, but a physical, bodily resurrection. Well, I hope that clears up the confusion that some have had with this topic. Um, Again, I'm not arguing here that the resurrection actually took place, although I do certainly believe that as a Christian. I'm not arguing that Paul was correct in his claims, although I believe that as well. All I'm arguing for is that Paul, a person in history uh, who was a Christian, uh, this particular individual, the Apostle Paul, did hold to the position that Jesus was dead at one point, and then at a later point, he was alive again. So I think that's the case has clearly been made. Thank you for watching. Please respond if you are so inclined. I welcome criticisms. I welcome rebuttals. I welcome encouragement if you agree with what I'm saying. All of these things are certainly welcome, and you're free to throw your 2 cents in to the ring, as they say. Thank you for watching and for your time, for listening to what I had to say. Shalom out.